Happy Fragrant Friday for Raghead. Hey everybody, this is Ben here at That Cologne Guy, coming at you with a new review. How are you doing? I hope you guys are doing well, my friends. My name is Ben, this is That Cologne Guy, and I bring you new content every single Friday. It is the channel that welcomes you to your weekend and wishes you a fragrant Friday indeed. You've seen the title and the description, so you know I am checking out none other than Ameer Al Oudh Intense Eau de Parfum by Lattafa. This was a sample sent in by, if you can see the fancy design, by Luxe Gentlemen's Society. Look how nice that looks in the sun. Luxe Gentlemen's Society. And Lux is lux. It means light in Latin. So you see it was perfect. Just see how the sun, look at that. The sun just came out exactly right when I put that in front of you. Make sure you check out his site. So this is a website by one of the subscribers, Jerry, and this is Luxe Gentlemen's Society. I will put the link in the description box, and drum roll please, now close enough, but I have my first coupon code. You heard that right. If you put in TCG10, you will get 10% off at the website. So that's Luxe Gentlemen's Society, wonderful website. And what he does is there is just tons and tons and tons of samples, just like this one, actually. So if you're looking for samples, that is the place to go. I'm going to say more later in the bonus feature, so I want you to, if you'd like to know more about the website, make sure you head on over to the end of the episode, but I want to quickly get to the review. That said, TCG10 is the coupon code. You know, I'm becoming famous here at YouTube, and before you know it, Jerry will be too at Luxe Gentlemen's Society. So go over there and check out all of the samples that they have on their site. Okay, so this is a 2021 Oriental. Now, this was not sent to me because he thought I would really like necessarily, you know, oud and sugar combination. But oh, do I love sweet ones, and oh, do I love oud. So this one was actually a perfect combination for me. And as you can see, the sun is coming out even more. This is a 2021, as I said. This is an Oriental, and this is by Lattafa. So you guys know that they are from the United Arab Emirates. It is quickly becoming one of my favorite countries when it comes to fragrance. The most original in the world? Perhaps not. Yes, I concede that a lot of the Lattafa fragrances might be, you know, colognes, and it's not the most original. But man, for the most bang for your buck, I mean, the fact that you could get something like this. Here's a full bottle of it, which I'll be reviewing in this one. The full bottle is between 20 and 30 USD for a 100 milliliter, 3.4 ounce, and that is just outstanding. I mean, yes, it's slightly synthetic. I will concede that. It's not the most original, but man, you know, for really peanuts, that is just an excellent price and fragrance. And I was thinking to myself, if I ever do a top 10 cheapie list, I think 6 or 7 of them might end up being Lattafas. So what an incredible house. United Arab Emirates is an incredible country. I want to go there now and check it out. And let's get into the name. Ameer in Arabic means prince, and commander, but in this sense it means prince in this context. And then al is the, and oud is, of course, agar wood, but we typically just say oud in English. And so it is Prince of Oud is the name here in Arabic. Ameer Al Oudh. And this is Intense Oud, by the way. This is not the original. This is Ameer Al Oudh Intense Oud, and I hope I made that clear earlier. 2021. So let's take a look at the notes. This one to me is actually quite linear, and that's going to come into play later when I give the rating. This one is oud, okay, woodsy notes, but then you have sugar with a little vanilla. But I'm not a huge vanilla fan, and I actually find the vanilla very tolerable here. I like the vanilla because it knows its place, and then the sandalwood comes in the base notes, and it's very powdery, refined sandalwood. I really appreciate the smoothness of the sandalwood and the smoothness of the oud. We've talked about the different types of oud, and of course fecal oud comes up quite a bit. This one is not that. This one is a medicinal oud, so it's probably from India, but I can't speak to that. Well, I mean, in the end it's a synthetic note anyway, but you get my point. When you talk about medicinals, oftentimes you'll talk about India, and fecal might be something like Cambodia or Laos when it comes to the smell of oud. That said, because we're not dealing with an actual note from nature, it really won't matter. But I wanted to let you guys know that this is a medicinal oud, and this one it works perfectly with the sugar and the sandalwood. Absolutely perfectly. Okay, now what does this smell like? This is another one this is for people who like sweet fragrances with a tinge of oud. So, I mean, is it an oud bomb? Not really, but that's a good thing in the sense that I think this would be great for somebody who likes really sweet fragrances and wouldn't mind dipping their toes in the pool of oud. And I mean, it is the Prince of Oud, so it should be an oud bomb. I don't know that I would call it that. I'm still not going to dock for it though, because it's great. It's present. The oud is clearly there. I just mean that it mixes and meshes so well with the sugar and the sandalwood. It's just sublime, actually. And I will also mention quickly, in this week of wearing this one, I've got just a little left that I'm going to save for the gym. I have received 2 unsolicited compliments, and one was by somebody I did not know. So that's pretty cool that somebody's going to stop you in an office and say, listen, I really, really want to know what that one is. So it garnered a lot of interest, and that's really cool. And only 1 week, 2 unsolicited compliments. Okay, so now, what does it smell like, though, in terms of other fragrances? This one, I want to be very clear here and transparent in saying that I can't speak to this, but I did a lot of research, talked to some people, and it's generally understood that this one is a clone of By the Fireplace, and the house is Maison Marti Margiela, or if he is Italian, it'd be Maison Martin Margiela. I'm not sure how to pronounce the last name, but either way, I want to be very clear in saying I cannot speak to that, but many people said it is a clone, and it's 99% was the percentage I saw, and a lot of people just said flat out, yeah, we get it, it's a dupe, it is. So I'm going to say 90% with an asterisk, because this is from what others have said. I'm going to say 90% it smells like In the Fireplace. No, By the Fireplace, excuse me. That makes me want to try that one. And then I'm going to say 5% Oud Mood by Lattafa. There's another one that I have and absolutely love. Man, I love that thing. That one's a little bit more unisex, but I feel like there's just a little bit of a wink and a nod to Oud Mood in this fragrance. They are definitely not superfluous. So if you have Oud Mood and your question is, should I get Ameer Al Oud Intense Oud? Yes. I think you should. I mean, I have both, and I plan to wear both, and I love both, and they don't smell exactly alike. And you know what? I'm probably the only one who's going to say this, but it was nagging at me actually all week, because I reviewed a fragrance that was kind of similar, but you would never know that by the notes other than the same family. Right? They're both Orientals. But this is a 2018 release, and it's Déclaration Parfum by Cartier. So this is Declaration Parfum by Cartier, it looks like, and that was one that I really enjoyed reviewing, and that is I'll put a card in your upper right, 2018 Oriental Woody, and you know what it is? It's kind of like Déclaration Parfum minus the cumin, however you want to say it, note. So if you don't like cumin and feel like it has kind of a BO odor to it, BO smell to it, and you're not a big fan of that note and you'd like that removed, when you remove it, you get something. I'm not saying a lot. I'm just saying 5% similar to Déclaration Parfum, which is just an outstanding fragrance. It's so great, in fact, that I love it, and I'm not even a fan of cumin, however you would like to say it, but it's just that smooth. And I felt like there's 5% of that in there, just a little bit. So it's kind of like I think it's in the fireplace, by the fireplace, 90%, 5% Déclaration Parfum by Cartier, and then 5% Oud Mood by the same house, Lattafa. So there you have it. That's what it smells like. It's very, very clean. It is sweet. The sugar is pronounced. The sandalwood is refined, and the oud. I mean, I guess the only thing you could say is, I mean, I don't know that I would call it intense oud. Actually, I guess I don't know if I'll end up, docking for that, but that'd be the only thing I can come up with. It's not the kind of in-your-face oud that is off-putting to some people. This is just a very, very nice fragrance. So, and not off-putting in the least. Okay, so let's get down to some of the categories now. When you take a look at longevity, projection, and sillage, longevity is quite good. I felt like it was par for course for an eau de parfum. So longevity for me was 6 to 8 hours, and I felt like I got easily to the 8-hour finish line. Now, in terms of projection, I also felt like it was 1 meter or 3 feet for a good 4 to 5 hours, clearly, because I was getting people asking about it right after I put it on. And then it does dissipate a little bit. But again, that's after the 4-hour mark, so I can totally live with that. I'm fine with that in every way. When it comes to sillage, it's outstanding because, again, for the first 4 hours when you walk by people or even walk in the same room, actually, in both cases, I just simply walked in the same room, and one room was huge. And they noticed it immediately. So I'm going to say sillage is outstanding when it comes to this fragrance. So all systems go when it comes to longevity, projection, and sillage. I feel like for gender, I want to say that this one is unisex, but I kind of feel like it leans masculine because it is, yes, it does have sugar and sandalwood. Those would suggest unisex, but I feel like the oud and the woodsy notes do pull it enough that it leans masculine. Do I think it's a masculine or uber masculine scent? No, I do not. I think it's unisex, but I think it does lean masculine. And so I don't think you'll have any problems with like smelling, too feminine, if that's your thing. You just won't like it if you don't like sweet fragrances. You won't like the sugar in it. That'll be the problem for you. So as far as percentages by gender, I'm going to go with a 75-25 split. I think 75% of the people who actually own it, who wanted it, it's their signature scent, will be men, and I think 25% will be women. It's definitely unisex, leaning masculine, and I think the percentages will play out as such. Now, when it comes to the age, with it being such this is a gentleman's. This is definitely a fragrance that has a presence to it that I really appreciate. And I like how it's subtle, but it's there. And so it knows, it doesn't overpower the room, but it's just there. It's just perfect, actually, in that sense. I really appreciate that about this fragrance. So I would say, in terms of age, I would say 25 and up. I don't know that you'll see too many college guys rocking juice like this, but after that, it's 25 and up because it is just that good and it's cheap. So it's a great gift to give at that price point because if somebody didn't like it, they can always give it to somebody else, or at least 20 or 30 bucks USD. You're not out a lot of money. So we're gonna go 25 and up on age. Now the seasons are clear in the sense that it's definitely a fall winter and it's definitely a nighttime. That said, you guys know my thing, which is it's sunny and I'm wearing it right now, and I will be wearing it a lot along with Nautica Voyage this summer. So I just wear what I enjoy wearing, and I just really enjoyed reaching for this week, so much so that here is the full bottle. So hot off the press, actually, it's almost an unboxing because I just got this a couple of hours ago. So that's my take. It's a fall winter, clearly for nighttime, and then I mean, do I think it's too cloying for the heat? I don't. I really don't. I know some people will talk about that with oud. This is not a classic oud rose fragrance, though. This is with the oud and the sugar and the sandalwood. It's just really nice, and I feel like it could perform 365 days a year, no matter where you live. Would I wear this to the office during the day? 100%. I mean, it's more of a nighttime, more of a romantic, more of an attention getting. So I would just go easy on the trigger in the office. So, I mean, versatility, I'll just go ahead and go. Versatility is really, for me, great, because it'll all come down to, if the only thing that it wouldn't work well in is if you worked in an office that didn't like, a big projection, a fragrance that really announced its presence maybe even before you got there. I would just go really, really, really easy on the trigger in that sense. Other than that, though, as far as type of dress, everything else will work. And for any social gathering, anything, it's just great. Especially and at that price, even if you're staying home playing video games, you can just simply put on a spray or 6 and just really, really enjoy the fragrance. So versatility is quite high, really high. Okay, so let's take a look at the box. This one is United Emirates, or this is Lattafa. So it's my understanding that all of the Lattafa fragrances do this. They have a production date, and then they have an expiration date. So you can see here that the production date was December 2024, and then the expiration date is December 2029. So I didn't look up a batch code just because they essentially give it to you right here. So that's the box, and they always put a plethora of languages. They've got English, Arabic, French, Italian, Dutch, Spanish, and German. So that's really, really cool. And again, I apologize because this is Ameer Al Oudh Intense Oud. All right, so let's take a look. And as you can see here, as I open, this is, like I said, this is almost an unboxing. All right, so there's the box, Eau de Parfum. And this is the bottle. So you can see it has kind of it's not a magnetic cap, but it's very heavy and it's high quality, and kind of looks like you're holding a sword. So it's really cool. And of course, get it, because it looks like royalty, because it is Ameer Al Oudh, which is the Prince of Oudh. And then they've got Lattafa, and then they've got, I'm assuming, well, right here is Ameer Al Oudh. I'm assuming. I have a lot of subscribers who speak Arabic, so if you can double check that, let me know if my pronunciation or anything I point out in Arabic is not correct. I really appreciate that about you guys. On the bottom, you've got the made in United Arab Emirates. So the UAE, you people typically will just call it just kind of like the United States of America, and people just call it USA. They will call it the UAE. So that is the United Arab Emirates, and it's got the information you would expect. It has a wonderful atomizer. I'm going to give you a spray. I mean, that really emits a lot. No leakage. It's just great. So that is the presentation. That is the bottle. That is the atomizer. And now let's get to the rating. This one is a barn burner. This one, I really, really went back and forth all week long between a 4 and a 5. Even up until the point of recording. I mean, it's been a really tough call for me. This guy, if I don't do half sprays, if I did, it would be a 4.5. Don't boo me, I'm going to go 4 out of 5. Yep, I know. I'll tell you what. Here's the thing I want to say. I'm going to go 4 out of 5. And I struggle with that because I always want to give the cheapies a little extra. But you guys know I give the coveted TCG bonus spray. So I give a 6 out of 5 every once in a while. I've only given out 3 now. I don't feel like it deserves that. So we're going to say, we're looking at 5 out of 5. I feel like it is a copy, it is a clone. And so I want to also deduct a little bit because it's not, highly original. It's not. That said, I mean, it's really great, though, to have an oud that combines with sugar. And I really did appreciate that on a personal level. Do I think anyone would like this one? I don't. But I really, really like this one. I love the inexpensive factor. Love Lattafa. Yes, it's synthetic. No, I don't care. Okay. So the only thing for me, that's why I was looking at, should it be 4, should it be 5? It's hard for me to give 5 out of 5s for the houses that don't take any gambles. They don't, any risks. They just ride the coattails of some other companies. That said, 1 point is 1 point. So I would be tempted to give this docket a point for that, but then the price point counteracts that. So I'm stuck. Does that bounce it back to a 5 or does it stay a 4? I'm going to go 4 because I feel like this one here is not quite intense oud. I love this fragrance, actually. I'm going to be rocking this one a lot this year. I'm happy to have a full bottle. I will seared through this guy, and I have just a little bit left over, as I said, for the gym. But and it got compliments. So I'm tempted to give a 5. I'm going to stick with 4 this time, just because I'm so on the fence. But man, I don't know that I would name this. I'm okay with Ameer al Oudh. I'm okay with calling it the Prince of Oud. But intense oud, I don't know that this one is intense. In fact, if anything, it might even be more like intense sugar or intense, sandalwood. And maybe, like, what's the word for sugar in French? Like sucre, something like that. So it should be called like Ameer al Oudh intense sucre, or sucre extrême or something. And that's about the extent of my French. It should be called like sugar intense, extreme sugar, something like that, because it is quite sugary sweet. So the name is a little off, but that's just me really, really reaching. So I'm going to go 4 out of 5 for Ameer al Oudh Intense Oud, and the 2025 release that was it is an oriental, and I get to spray the full bottle. I'm going to go 1 on each. Let's go 1 on each inner elbow and 1 on each side of the neck. And yeah, no. This one definitely should be called Ameer al Oudh sucre extrême, and I'm really hoping that sugar is sucre. Either way, you get my point. Extreme sugar or something like that. I'm not buying the intense oud part of it, but that's really just being nitpicky. I have really enjoyed wearing this one. I'm going to keep wearing this one throughout the summer, along with Nautica Voyage, in addition to the ones that I'm reviewing, just because I like this one that much. This one really hits it for me. This one really works for me because it's a combination of the sweet and the oud. In fact, I was thinking if this had coffee and or guaiac wood, man, we'd be looking at a possible 6 out of 5 for me with a name change. So there you have it. I just like it that much. Stick around for the bonus feature. As I said, I'm going to talk a little bit more about the website and where the sample came from. And always remember, my friends, fragrance marks the celebration of today. Take care, everybody. Okay, so welcome to the bonus feature. I really appreciate you guys sticking around to the very end. I promised you guys I would talk more about Lux Gentlemen's Society, the company that sent the sample in, because you guys like it in the review when I just, get down to brass tacks and get to the review as quickly as possible. So the bonus feature is nice because if I don't show bloopers, I usually show something like this where it allows me to talk a little bit more without having to work it into the review. So don't forget that the website for the company that specializes in samples is down below. It's in the description box, and it's Lux Gentlemen's Society. Just a little bit here to say, Lux is Latin for light, and I thought it was cool. It's lux in Latin, and I thought it was cool because right when I put up the sample during the review, a ray of sunshine actually came out and shone right on the sample. So hey, a sign of things to come for this wonderful company. And so that's Lux Gentlemen's Society, and the mastermind behind this is Jerry, who actually is a subscriber of the channel. And I want to talk a little bit about the notion of all the people I've gotten to come into contact with and all the friendships I've made really over the years in That Cologne Guy. It's special to me because when you have a YouTube channel, I call it kicking tires. And what happens is you will get somebody who will come in for one or two and leave a comment, and then they'll start putting their promotional stuff for their own channel or whatever they're trying to promote. And it's actually relatively common. I don't blame them, but it's not the most genuine. And you can just tell they're trying to promote their name or whatever, their channel or whatever. Now, that's why I want to brag up Jerry a little bit when it comes to this stuff, because he is a genuine salt of the earth kind of guy. I have been talking to him quite often since he started watching the channel, and he, just like Dr. Goo over at Locked Sense, are just truly, they have sent samples in. They never ever ask for anything in return. They always, just like Brian, they send in bottles, they send in samples, and they just want me to give my off the cuff take. And I've just made a lot of cool friendships over the years, and Jerry's one of them. So make sure that you check out his website. It's new, and as you can see here, it's great because this sample was outstanding, and I really, really am going to sear through this whole thing very, very quickly this summer. So that's just a little bit more about the website. Again, it is in the description box. You do get a TCG10, a coupon code. I just love saying that. And my first coupon code on That Cologne Guy. So thank you very much for all that you do, Jerry. Congratulations on the website. Make sure, to all the people watching this, head on over to the website, check it out, contact the society, which is so cool to say. And I'll see you next week. Take care, everybody.